Hello, residents, families, and friends of New York. I am Jacqueline Tyson, President, Rochester Alumnae Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Thank you for joining our discussion on how to vote during this COVID-19 season. Before we get started, let me give you some background about our organization. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was founded in 1913 by 22 collegiate women at Howard University, located in Washington, D.C. It is an organization of college-educated women committed to the constructive development of its members and to public service with a primary focus on the Black community. The Rochester Alumnae Chapter was chartered in 1965 and serves the greater Rochester community. Our programming reflects a 5-point programmatic thrust, including political awareness and involvement. A member of our Social Action Committee will show you the steps needed to vote without going to the polls in New York State.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Charmaine Cohen, and I would like for you to know that we can vote during this COVID-19 season and be safe by using the absentee ballot. Please follow the process to vote by absentee ballot. We will have a Q&A session at the end. Please follow along on the screen to see how to fill out the application. First, all registered voters will receive an application to apply for the absentee ballot in the mail. The application form will say New York State Absentee Ballot Application. Second, you must fill out the application form and mail in immediately and postmark it by June 16, 2020. Now let's get started. Box 1. Select temporary illness or physical disability. This option is selected to receive the absentee ballot due to COVID-19 in the mail. Box 2. Select primary election. Box 3. Write in your last name followed by your first name and middle initial. Box 4. Write in your date of birth, 2-digit month, 2-digit date, and 4-digit year. Next, write in your county where you live. Your phone number and email are optional. Box 5. Write your complete address, city, and zip code. And remember to write in your apartment number if you have one. The state is already filled in for you. Box 6. Select mail ballot to me at, and then write in your address. Box 7. Skip box 7 because this application is for the primary election. Box 8. Sign your name and write in the date you are completing the application. Again, 2-digit month, 2-digit date, and 4-digit year. If you are unable to sign your name or read this application, you must sign a mark below the statement indicating you cannot sign for yourself. Then you must have a person to verify your mark by writing in their address and then signing their name on the witness line. Once you have completed the application, mail immediately, but no later than June 16th. This is the process to receive an absentee ballot if you are a registered voter. If you are not a registered voter, or if you have moved, you must complete a voter registration card. You can view our voter registration discussion on how to register on our Facebook page, Rochester Alumnae Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc.
Hello, I'm Donna Harris, co-chair for the Social Action Committee for the Rochester Alumnae Chapter. I will be facilitating the question and answer segment. We have Ms. LaShawna Booth, Acting Democratic Commissioner for the Monroe County Board of Elections, who will address any questions that we have. Good evening, Soror Booth.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm
I'm
well.
glad that you're here. So we asked the audience to enter in any questions that you have in the comments section, but we actually have some already arranged questions for you to answer. And the first question is, do you need postage to mail your absentee ballot application back to the Board of Elections?
No, because of the COVID crisis, we from the Board of Elections will be providing postage paid envelopes for every single voter that's eligible to vote in this primary election in June.
So what if I don't receive an absentee ballot application in the mail?
If you don't receive it or you need another copy of it, all you have to do is just call the Board of Elections and we will mail out another application to you.
If I received the absentee ballot but did not return it, can I go to vote in person?
Yes. Absentee voting is set up so that if a situation occurs where you know that you may not make it to a polling site during early voting or election day, you may go to a polling site. Absentee voting also allows it if you decide to change your mind and you want to go into vote into any polling site. What will happen is the ballot that you cast during early voting or election day will be the ballot that counts. And if you mailed in an absentee ballot, that ballot will be removed. It will not count.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the audience? Soror Booth, do you have any additional comments for the audience that we need to be reminded of during this time period around COVID-19 and the absentee ballot?
Well, I think the main message from the Board of Elections is really that we want voters to not only feel safe, but also know that your vote is going to count. We want you to know that we value the process and we are doing everything to ensure that every voter has access to ensure that their vote is casted and counted. So while absentee voting may be new for quite a few people in this county because we are dedicated voters to going out to the polling sites and casting their votes during what we saw for the first time last year during early voting and election day. This may be a change, but the Board of Elections wants everyone to feel comfortable and rest assured that your vote will count, whether you cast it via absentee ballot or during early voting or on election day.
So,
I would. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
The last thing I want to just remind voters is that this year is definitely a very special year because it's a presidential election. And although there's been some back and forth with whether or not there's an election happening for our presidential primary, I want to confirm that at this point, right now, there is a presidential primary. Voters will receive 2 ballots for the presidential and our local election. And if you go in to actually vote during early voting or election day, you will still have 2 ballots. So there will be 2 different opportunities for most Monroe County voters, and a third if you live in a specific congressional district to cast your ballot. But yes, there are going to be at least 2 different elections that will be occurring in Monroe County, and 3 for some.
So we have a couple of questions that have come in. Okay. So Todd Stevens asked, what are the updated polling site information? Will there be 1 site or 2 sites? And I guess that's for early voting.
Early voting, we actually are planning to have 12 sites countywide. And we're very excited about this because we've been able to we were able to expand to have additional sites so that they're closer to the residents. So what that means is voters will have a site that's equipped to manage a decent amount of voters, that influx of voters that will come in to potentially vote during the early voting period, which will be from June 13th until June 21st.
So will there be 1 polling site in the early voting site in the city?
We are actually slated to have 4 early voting sites in the city. It's been designed where it's in the quadrants, according to how the city jurisdictions are mapped right now, similar to city council, I would say.
Okay. So we have a from Karen Chisholm. She asked for us to repeat which option to choose for the box 1 of the application. Sir Cohen, can you come back on to repeat that information?
If you'd like, I can just read it to you.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. So if you, as a voter, are requesting an absentee ballot related to COVID, you will check the box that indicates temporary illness or physical disability.
Thank you. We have a question from our soror, Deb Hanmer. She's asking, is there a difference between the online application versus the paper application?
The electronic application actually really hones in to only select a few options. So it is a slight difference, but it still meets the requirements per the executive order from the governor.
Any more questions from our viewing audience? We really appreciate your questions and attendance this evening.
So thank you for joining us again for discussion on how to apply for the absentee ballot. This recorded discussion will be on the Rochester Alumnae Chapter Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Inc. social media. Please contact the Board of Elections at 585-753-1550 for additional information or questions. Now stay tuned for our discussion on how to register to vote. It's coming up shortly. Thank you.